देखिए
जी अनुसार
सर इस चीज के ऊपर नहीं बोलने का, इस चीज के ऊपर नहीं बोलने का।
The relationship with the audience and the characters of Panchayat has become so intimate that the public almost feels like that they know them personally at this point. A series that started in 2020 following Abhishek's journey as Sachivji in Pulera has thrown us many curveballs, familiarizing us with not only the village but also the village folk. We tune in for not only the simple and slow life of Pulera, something that seems like an escape from our own lives, but also to see how our favorite characters are doing personally, being a part of their emotional upheavals too. It has inadvertently made us care for everyone. When season 4 released and only a few hours had passed, I was shocked to see comments of people who had already finished the show. A turnaround of people tuning in for the show like I have never seen before. Usually when I am reviewing a series with screeners, I get bombarded with comments ki bhai abhi to release hua hai, but this was after a long time where the comments were like bhai kitna time laga rahe ho. This is the hype for a series that I just did not anticipate. We left season 3 with an unknown gunman shooting the Pradhan and Abhishek being in too deep with the politics of Phulera, embroiling himself with all their scuffles, losing out on the objectivity of why he came here in the first place. As the MLA and his goons appear in the hospital, Abhishek and his friends of Phulera get into a scuffle with them, ending the season with both parties being detained in the police station. Season 4 focuses on Abhishek worrying about the pending case against him for slapping Bhushan and whether this will sabotage his future with his MBA results just around the corner. However, the primary focus of this season is the election being fought between Manju Devi, played by Neena Gupta, representing the Loki, and Kranti Devi, played by Sunita Rajwar, representing the pressure cooker. The sabotage and strategy that follows in getting the upper hand in the election forms the basic premise of season 4 of Panchayat. That is honestly getting a lot of polarizing reviews. There are critics who absolutely hated this season, stating कि इस property को ज़्यादा ही stretch कर रहे हैं, and the other side that believes it is refreshing that the property is attempting different themes versus focusing on the same old tropes that made the series popular. I genuinely have developed such a relationship with this show that it's more or less become my comfort viewing, but as this is an analytical channel as well, I think it's important to acknowledge what worked and what didn't. I would love to know your unfiltered and unbiased thoughts regarding this season 2 in the comments below. So here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the series so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Panchayat season 4 on Amazon Prime Video or not. The underwhelming aspects: lack of impact of new characters and unexplored subplots. There are moments in this season where I assume that the show is going to take a detour, and this especially happens with the introduction of new characters, but they are in a very odd fashion abandoned. I know that this season has also shaped up in such a way that season 5 is inevitable, and there might be potential of exploring these characters later on, but it slightly catches you off guard when things are proceeding, someone is introduced, and then you wonder कि भाई वो कहाँ चले गए. This is the case of Manju Devi's father being introduced. The episode itself is extremely hard-hitting regarding the themes of karma, but the presence of the wise old man is rather abrupt and we don't get to see him ever again. I was actually really looking forward to how the series explores the character of Swa Anand Kirkire, playing the role of Sansad Ji. This is a character who is more powerful than the Vidhayak played by Pankaj Jha. The assumption was that if this is the man playing the puppeteer, his integration into the story will be intimidating and extremely interesting, but it's left rather high and dry. Again, I acknowledge that these characters may have the opportunity to be explored more in season 5, but there was simply a lack of impact in the presence of these characters in this season. If I were to rave about someone who was introduced this season, it has to be the child Bill Clinton Kumar, who studies with Sachivji when the entire village is going through an electricity cut. The little kid has such amazing confidence that I couldn't stop laughing when he had a witty reply for anyone who questioned him. Finally, the only thing that I believe I was genuinely missing in this season and I wanted more of were the moments shared between Abhishek and Rinki, played by Sanvika. There is a simplicity and innocence in the dynamic shared between them. There is an awkwardness, a distance owing to the conservative nature of the village. They find themselves covering up and lying to other people in order to meet each other, and this forbidden love aspect of this relationship interests you even more. Rinky's frustration with Abhishek only prioritizing his aspirations after clearing his exams, Rinky's naivety on what to do professionally ahead. I just wanted their moments to be more of a regular feature in the season versus sporadically appearing here and there. There is a charm to their pure dynamic, having a novelty as it's such a rarity to see in modern romance today. The good. Political campaign and themes. This season fully focuses on the election campaign, and I believe this is actually a breath of fresh air versus the makers knowing what works in previous seasons and doubling down on the same for callback value. We have been absolutely inundated with comedy franchises in Hindi cinema, where there is absolutely zero originality about the premise and the gags that the characters deliver. Every sequence in these big franchise films is either resorting to profanity, double meaning dialogues, or callbacks to previous films that have become memes today. Panchayat can easily rely on the same, seek for viral moments, but I respect the makers for pivoting to other themes. The election campaign between Manju Devi and Kranti Devi produces several hilarious moments. This is an atmosphere where the most basic altercations can become national muddas. The series is a series of events where the characters argue with one another, not because they are genuinely hurt by what has been said or done, but because their egos get hurt in the process. So if it means who is going to clean the dirtiest toilet in the village so that the public can appreciate their effort and cast their vote for them, there will be an action sequence pushing and shoving people so that they can get there first. Political loyalists like Bhushan's right-hand man Madhav, played by Bullu Kumar, will literally become a makeshift raw agent trying to keep tabs on the movement of Pradhanji and his team. Aloo Puri and Sevai will be used as political tools to influence the opposition, and the leftover kachori in a stall can lead to an ultimate standoff. This is what makes Panchayat so hilarious and special to me. Small matters, petty matters become debates on self-respect and egos getting hurt. And this accounts for, in my opinion, a lot of fun this season. Moments with the cast. I absolutely love these characters. They are so unique and so special that my parents, every time they watch this series, have exclaimed that this world and its people remind them of the golden age of television in the 90s, where you wouldn't care where the characters were going or which sticky or awkward situation they would find themselves in. There was such a personal connection to them that you just wanted to tune in irrespective. Pradhanji, played by Raghubir Yadav, with his iconic "Ih Sasura" and his injured hand, is legendary. His annoyance after seeing the growing influence of Bhushan and the acting performance by the veteran, especially in the last episode of the season, was exceptional. Neena Gupta as Manju Devi being the voice of reason in the household, putting up a good fight in the election. Jitendra Kumar as Abhishek almost felt like he let loose this season. I couldn't stop laughing when he gets drunk in the first episode, expressing his frustration with Bhushan exclaiming, "De chappal!" Vikas, played by Chandan Roy, and Prahlad, played by Faisal Malik, being the loyal friends they are, one of them saying, "हो रहा है कांड तो बहुत बढ़िया से कांड होगा." These are the ride or die friends that everyone wishes for. Vikas and his dynamic with his wife, the guilt that consumes him regarding Prahlad's gift from season 3 actually extracts one of the most beautiful moments of the series, heightened even further by the song Asma Rootha, a song I would highly recommend you listen to. It is, however, the opposition that really stole the show for me this season. There is just something so infuriating about the duo of Sunita Rajwar and Durgesh Kumar as Kranti Devi and Bhushan that you feel like punching the screen whenever they appear. There is this conniving smile that they sport throughout the season, reveling in the downfall of Pradhanji, and it just makes them the perfect antagonists. I want to specifically also speak about Ashok Pathak as Binod, who is brilliant this season. I must say that I saw Sister Midnight, and even though most of the themes of that movie went over my head, he is such an integral part of why that movie got so much praise. His line in this season, "Gareeb hai, gaddar nahi," was one of the most impactful scenes, making it genuinely an ensemble cast of impeccable performances. Mood and sentiment. I quickly realized that the series may have had its faults of deviating focus in several instances where it did not know where to go with some of its characters. However, I believe the series also becomes a victim of expectations. वो funny वाला मजा नहीं आया, वो वाला intimate family वाला setting नहीं था. It's the expectations of the audience for this series to hit those beats of what made it popular that is making you feel bummed out, versus investing in the journey of where this is going. I'm not saying that the journey was devoid of bumps and cracks, I agree about its demerits, but there is just a laid-back mood and lovable nature to this world and its characters that just pull me back in every time. The mood of this series is that during a police raid, the constables are playing Ludo. The excitement of the election result is restricted to the number of kilos of laddus that need to be ordered. The excitement of the afternoon is to have chai in the sun. The friend group, and at the slightest inconvenience, wanting to get a bottle of beers. Good news or bad news, irrespective, milna hai. And I think the makers taking the leap of focusing largely on the election campaign was a risk, but a journey that I got invested in, making me actually more excited for season 5 because this almost seemed like a setup to the madness that will follow, especially knowing the awkward situation Sachiv Ji will find himself in Pholera next season. The question still arises, who the hell shot Pradhan Ji? Tell me your conspiracy theories in the comments below. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about season 4 of Panchayat. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.